It's a Monday night, so why not work on a car? Show you what I'm dealing with. I've got a video about this already, but not one that's this bad. This is the driver's side rear of our vehicle. It was making a noise. I can't even make it make the noise at the moment, but check this out. This play, that's not in the rotor. That's in the wheel bearing. And, you know, that's probably less than desirable. So tonight's chore is change a wheel bearing. I'll show you what I'm up against. I'm not sure how you guys do this. Probably some of you have a better way to do it than I do. But if you needed to know what it looked like, not an instructional video. I'm not qualified to do that. What it is a you can probably do it video, because this is how I got started. Somebody knew I couldn't afford it, encouraged me, and here you go. I'll show you kind of how I'm going to get into this, what you need to do, what it looks like. Not how to do it, just, you know, so you've seen it before you start. Here it is. We're going to take the brake caliper off. There's a bolt here. There's another bolt right down here. They're going to come out. I'm going to pull the whole thing off, hang it up there with a piece of wire, and then this will come off. We're going to take this off. It's 32 mil, so you pull this out. Some guys use side cutters. I don't know. I usually break a pair and need those pliers trying it. And then right back in here, I can't really get the camera in. There's a bolt here. There's one on the bottom right down there, and two on the other side that hold the hub in. And then we're going to get the hub off. I'll show you what it looks like without the brake rotor on it. And it'll make maybe a little more sense. So I've broken these bolts loose on the caliper. I'm just pulling them out by hand. A little magnetic tray. If you've never used those, man, especially if you're working in a terrible shop like mine, they're great. I'll show you where the other bolt is. I can't reach it and hold the camera at the same time, but we're going to just pull that one out, take this caliper off. Despite what it looks like, I've recently been in here. I was the last guy in, so they got the please don't get stuck paste on them because I knew I'd be back. The brakes have recently been done. It's winter in Canada. We live in a salt belt. Salt just messes with all of life, and that's what's going on here. But that'll just slide right off. It's going to take me two hands. I'm going to hang it up here and then pull this rotor off, and then we'll get at breaking that thing. Be a good time. So I'm going to use an impact gun because, you know, after years of suffering, I saved and bought one. But I used to do this all with the breaker bar. Actually two. One like this, the other here to keep your hub from turning. If you happen to have both wheels off the ground, just be careful. You know, I've done some damage doing that. If you got a better way to hold that still, go ahead, put it down there. Tell me how. I like to learn. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just a guy saying you can probably do it. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, here it is. Bolts are out in the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 17 mil. They take a little bit of acrobatics to get at. This would be so much easier on a hoist because, you know, then your bar would fit. But I found if I used this combination, worked the best. Again, not instruction, just what a fella did. If it helps you. Got this off, the nut. And usually, I've been in here before for a different job. So I'm thinking I should be able to yep, there it comes. They're not always that easy. There's some guys on YouTube that know what they're doing, that teach you tricks to take that off by using a nut and a bolt and running them through the wrong way and pushing. They're slick tricks. I'm not qualified to teach them, but if you're having trouble getting it off, because if you're in the rust belt like me, it's never been off before, it is not coming off that easy, but worked for me. I gotta show you this. There was no indication that this was gonna fail. There was no noise, there was no whatever, other than maybe mileage, which means I'm gonna change the other side almost immediately. The other side has a used one on it because that one was noisy a while back and I had a used one. Anyway, check this out. It'll turn one way. Ish. Listen to that. But it's so bad, it won't even turn the other. So it'll turn what would have been forward, but not backwards. Not even a little bit. I mean, it's probably fine. There, that looks better. I'm gonna put a little fluid film on this. I don't know if that's good or bad. It collects dust, blah, 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 so that could be bad. But I want it to be able to move. Now, I've torqued all these, and I torque everything because I don't know what I'm doing. So I grab a service manual, I give it a look, I find out what the torque value is for the axle nut. It's in the rear axle section of the service manual. I find out what it is for the wheel hub, also in the rear axle section of the service manual. I find out what it is for the brake calipers and the wheel lug nuts. And most people are like, oh, just give it 3 ugga-duggas or give it, you know, a good couple of grunt. You do you, that's fine. I'm not actually going to tell people torque values because I could be wrong and I don't want to be you're wrong. The manuals are free, nicoclub.com. Look them up. It's good to know. I guess I should show you this because, you know, I've messed it up a few dozen times. There's a plug. Well, hopefully there's a plug right there. That needs to line up with this little wheel right there. It's the adjustment hole for adjusting the tension on your emergency brake, which if you ever need to do it and you don't line it up, then you gotta take this all back apart. And that's just a pain. Ask me how I know. Well, there you have it. There's my very dirty Pathfinder. I got carried away. Went ahead and did both sides. I doubt this helped you at all because it's not meant to be an instructional video. It's a guy in Canada, in the cold, that doesn't have enough cash, that he wants to spend it paying somebody to do something he might be able to do. So these videos are just to say you can probably do it. I don't know you. I have no idea. But basic socket set, good breaker bar, some patience, and, you know, bloody knuckles, and you can probably make it. I wish you the best.